On this episode of Screen Geeks, we're going to talk about whether WandaVision is deceptively good or weirdly, boringly bad. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screen Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, is my good friend Ralph. Ralph, how you doing, good sir?
Doing okay. Two big movies that I'm looking forward to. Just got their dates shifted around.
Well, yeah, I know. I figured we'd lead with the latest news. Hot take. No Time to Die. I don't want to see this, Twitter. Chill out. Anywho, No Time to Die on the official James Bond Twitter handle at 007. Pushed back to October 8th of 2021. I'm sorry, but this has been like how many times?
Like the 6th, maybe?
That's insane.
Maybe something like that. I'm tired of it. And they're not going to spend this. They're not going to spend this time to get someone else to score it.
I know.
That's the worst part. But in better news, Godzilla versus Kong has been pushed up 2 months, and that's coming out in March 26th. So
and that's my birthday. Well, my birthday is 27th, but still, that's like a birthday gift,
right? Trailer this Sunday, by the way.
Well, they showed, like, if you watch HBO Max or whatever, they've been putting little clips from the movie. And it's like the first time I've seen any clips from the movie. And it looks really, really good.
Right.
I mean, it's two kaiju going at it. So,
and King Kong is the size of Godzilla.
I know.
Big. He's got to be the biggest Kong.
Well,
hands down.
Is he still scaled to what he was in what was it called? Kong? King of Kong? I don't know.
Kong Skull Island?
Thank you, Skull Island.
No, he's definitely not. Because the thing is, King Kong has always climbed the Empire State Building.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla could kick it over.
Yep.
So,
well, I'm saying to the Skull Island Kong is he the same one from that movie?
Yes, he's the same one from the movie. He in that movie they set up the fact that he is a teenager and he's still growing, and that took place in the 70s.
Okay.
So 40 something years have passed.
Okay.
But they released the poster today. It's a cool poster. It's just King Kong standing on the in front of the skyline. I didn't even look at what city it was. And then you see Godzilla swimming towards the city. It is awesome.
Well, I did want to. This meme really made me chuckle. Now I feel like it's relevant just because of the news of King Kong versus Godzilla being pulled up. I'm going to stop the screen for a second. Just pull it up. But it's if you like the DC movies, where did it save to? Son of a gun, I lost it. Where'd it go? Snap. I have too many things on my desktop. Anyways,
I was hoping I could send you something to show because it's a lot of fun. I think it's a video or an animated game, but it doesn't have a audio, so we wouldn't get. Oh, I guess I didn't get it. That's weird. You know, the internet sometimes and technology. It's no bueno. This is no bueno.
Anyway, darn it, where's that meme? It's such a good meme. I can't show it to you, and this is derailing my evening. Whatever.
Here, I sent you something via text. I don't know if you can pull that up on your computer.
I can.
Cool. I am excited, and for those of you that listen to the Kaiju podcast with me and Jorge Garcia, we will be back to cover this movie.
Oh, that's exciting.
So there's that. So yeah, footage from the classic Godzilla versus Kong. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And
very excited.
Junkie XL is doing the score to that, so that's good. I like him.
Yep.
And fix that James Bond score when you while you have the chance, because
it's not.
I want nothing to do with it.
And you know it's going to be awful, which sucks. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that's
right.
Because
right.
And I was hoping it would be better, but it just is not the case. Well, actually, we don't know. Maybe it's going to be good, right?
Doubt it.
Aw.
Doubt it.
Anywho, okay. So I got the meme. You stalled long enough for me to get this up. Here we go. Okay. This is gonna be worth it. There's no way it's worth it now, but I really thought it was funny. Oh no, this thing on the bottom is blocking it. Hold on, sorry. Let me turn this off. There we go. You were never a king. You were never a monster. Save Mothra. How did you say that name? Because it's from be Superman.
Yeah.
Come on, that's
Batman Heavy Spirit.
So funny. Anyway, that really made me giggle. That was making the rounds on the internet just with all the King Kong versus Godzilla stuff. But anyways, all right, let's check into the chat. See who is here. Brad Brooks is in the house. Sup, everybody. Sup, Brad. How are you? Fetz, give us a James Bond Jr. movie, you cowards.
I always shut off my TV when James Bond Jr. came on.
I kind of dug it as a kid. Yeah. I have some of the toys. I have the car from James Bond.
Let's get a Danger Mouse.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten a Danger Mouse
or Duckula or
Count Duckula as well. I'm down with either. JJ Prime Reviews. Sup, everybody. Sup, JJ Prime Reviews. New subscriber to the channel. He has his own channel. There's a lot of Transformers stuff. Definitely check him out. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good as well. My wife is here. Nobody cares about you, Ralph. It's about me. LOL Fets. Bullwinkle 80. What's up, Bullwinkle? The classic is so cheesy. That clip is
Jay has been poking around my YouTube channel.
Who?
I think he wants you to buy me a ring light. I can get one. I just don't think there's going to be any room for it. It's going to end up just sitting in the corner.
I think your lighting looks really good right now. I don't think
dude. I did this. So I did this. I was on Jack's show earlier this week, and this is what I did. This lighting, which looks like an Instagram filter.
And
I really dig it.
Yeah,
it looks weird. It looks kind of cool. So we'll see. I actually have my light snaked around and pointed at my lens.
Well, see now, if you put the light against the wall, it would bounce off the wall and then light your face.
There's not a lot of wall though.
Oh, well, you have to have it above and then like bounce it off the wall.
Yeah.
Lighting tips on screen. Speaking of Transformers reviews, I'm reviewing my review of Kingdom Cheetor in exactly 6 minutes. Well, there you go. Check it out after our show.
We'll be here though.
Jake Griffiths wouldn't say no to Mighty Mouse. I loved Mighty Mouse as a kid. I even liked the Hanna-Barbera kind of. Was it like Mighty Mouse and the Ghost? Casper the Ghost? No, that was Casper the Ghost in some show. But there was like a Mighty Mouse show that was like a later version. Anyway, love Mighty Mouse. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So yes, bummer about the James Bond. Good news about you know, I think I've decided I'm going to do, Ralph, this weekend is
what's that?
Finally watch
Bill and Ted.
Well, that too, but Tenet. I feel like I'm finally ready to watch Tenet. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Do you want to? You want to watch it and then we can talk about it next week?
Sure. Is that so we don't have to talk about WandaVision?
Well, I'm kind of worried about WandaVision. We'll talk about it as our main topic today, but I at least wanted to throw. Well, because I listen to this podcast. It's you may know, but like Blank Check with Griffin and David. It's a fun show. But they did a thing on Tenet, and I listened to it because they generally don't say too much about it. They kind of just shoot the shiz for 2.5 hours. But anyways, I was like, I finally I need to watch Tenet. I need to see it. It's time. I've avoided it long enough. I'm not going to see it in the theaters. It's available. You can buy the Blu-ray or whatever now. I think you get the digital download in 4K, WandaVision, blah, 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 blah. So I think I have finally just admitted to myself that I do want to see it. And I need to, bite the bullet and watch Tenet. Even though the reviews are kind of mixed, which is a little bit scary, but
right.
But I like all Nolan movies. Like, if you like all Nolan movies, wouldn't you still like this movie?
Yeah, I think I do like all of his movies. I haven't seen a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Insomnia, and I haven't seen. I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think that's it. Yeah, I haven't seen Insomnia.
And Tenet does not have Hans Zimmer doing the score.
Right. It's Ludwig Göransson.
Ludwig Göransson, who we love from Mandalorian, has done the score. So could this be like, a score you can enjoy? Or does Nolan just give the notes like, I need a here? Like, I mean, is that Nolan's fault or Zimmer's fault?
I guess we'll find out.
Right?
Right.
Exactly. All right. That's that. Let's just get into it. So WandaVision premiered last Friday, and it had a lot of high expectations to it because this is the first ever Marvel Universe or true MCU TV show. Like, there's been other ones. Yeah, there's been a few
Defenders.
shows. Yeah, they're kind of tied, but not like really. Like, Kevin Feige didn't really allow it to be that truly connected to the main MCU. So this is the first time it's on Disney Plus. High expectations, and their first one they're going with is this show, WandaVision, which is really weird. Which I'm fine with weird, but to be honest, my first take on this. And let me put a spoiler thing up here just in case. We're talking about WandaVision, first 2 episodes. This is your last chance. Now get out of here.
Vision dies.
Whoa!
Endgame.
Wow!
Was that Endgame or Infinity War?
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Tenet is the most Nolan of his movie. I'm okay with that. I love.
Yeah, that's fine.
James Rice. Hello, James. Welcome. So yes, I was just really bored. I didn't think it was that. I don't know. Like, I just.
You know why? I know why you were bored.
Okay, hit me. Why was I bored?
It's a straight up sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode is a 50s sitcom, and that's pretty much it, cut and dry. Mm-hmm. It's not till the very end where you kind of have this outside world start to creep its head in.
Yep.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I can't wait to see this escalate.
Mm-hmm.
Then you watch the second one, and it's just a 60s sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And then weirdness happens at the very end.
Yep.
And there's a little tiny bit in the middle.
Yep.
But I feel like by the second episode, things should start escalating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know this is a miniseries, and I don't know how many episodes it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we watched, and this is, one of the greatest TV shows ever, when we watched Lost, by the end of the first episode, there's trees shaking,
mm-hmm.
and there's like something in the woods, and Charlie says, "Guys, where are we?"
Yep.
And then boom, we get to the second episode, and things start escalating. It starts building off of that.
Mm-hmm.
If they went through the whole second episode, and at the end there's something in the trees and says, "Guys, where are we again?" Then it's, why did I even watch
the first one?
Yeah. So I'm not super amped. I'm glad they released the first 2 at once.
Yes.
Because if I had to wait a week to watch the second one,
mm-hmm.
I'd be like, oh my God, why am I watching? Am I going to watch the third one?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I am really excited about coming up is, I'm assuming the next episode is the 70s.
Yes, it will be.
And that will be the Brady Bunch house.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I love the Brady Bunch. So that's what's going to give me hope. I need to see more stuff creeping in. I liked that they did the 4:3 aspect ratio, and I'm kind of hoping that stuff starts spilling into the black bars on the sides. Like I want it to start like things starting to fall apart.
Yep.
A dude in a beekeeper's outfit coming out of the sewer isn't enough for me.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
like the rest of the episode is literally just sort of a Bewitched, where she has powers that nobody knows about, and he's a robot and nobody knows about.
Yeah.
So, but the rest of it is just a sitcom. And the thing is, like, not a terribly good one.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like, any good sitcom would have, like, either a lesson to be learned or some sort of, like, heartfelt moments, but it's just bad jokes on purpose, but they're really not funny. Like, there's a way to tell bad jokes, cheesy jokes in a funny way, but these are just like canned laughter. And I understand that's the world that she's coming up with in her head, but I don't think it's terribly entertaining.
Yeah.
Especially with these two characters that are kind of humorless, like in the rest of the DCU or in the MCU. Sorry. DCU, very, very non-humorous. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, and then, so I'm watching it, right? And it feels like a straight up sitcom.
Well, Mr. Houdini, kind of going along your side here, I like the show. My problem is that it isn't as witty as the shows they're parodying. And I think that goes to your point, where first one is Dick Van Dyke Show, which is one of my favorite sitcoms. It's the same set, isn't it, as Dick Van Dyke?
I'm not sure.
To me. And then, the second one was Bewitched. And it's like, if you're going to basically set yourself in there, if you're a fan of those sitcoms, it's going to, you have to kind of go a little bit harder than being a parody that just isn't that funny.
Right. And I'm all for like slow burns. I'm okay that there's no action in it, but it just, there's nothing there. And I'm hoping, even though I don't feel like watching these episodes again, I don't know the replay value, but if something comes up later on and I'm going, oh, that was a clue in the first one, am I even going to care to go back and watch that episode?
Yep. And a lot of people are saying that in the chat. Jay says there's a tons of Easter eggs, references. A lot of them you have to get quite a bit of comic knowledge to get. Fetz says there are way more clues in there if you're looking at it as much as you would think something like Lost. And, that's the eye that I've been watching it, we're both Lost podcasters and analyzing an episode, looking for all the little clues. And so I definitely picked up on all these little things, but the tougher part is, like, it wasn't that enjoyable of a story. Like, the story itself and it just didn't really, it wasn't at least Lost was a compelling character story. And then there was all these Easter eggs and stuff that kind of added an extra level to this primetime drama. Whereas this, there are clearly a lot of Easter eggs, and I would hope they're setting up a lot of this stuff that's going to be paying off down the road. But the story itself it's not clicking. It didn't click.
There's a scene where she picks up a helicopter. It's in color and it has the sword logo on it. And then it also has a 57, I believe, on it. Now, because we went through and looked at, like, I think it was like Nerdist or something, did a whole thing of Easter eggs. Yeah. And that's all they are Easter eggs for, like, if you know the comics. So the 57 represents the first appearance of Vision. And then the sword logo means nothing to us now. And I don't really care about
the logo when we pulled out and saw the people watching the video footage in the first one. I believe there was that logo as well.
But I mean, it's not as intriguing as when you're on Lost and you see the Dharma logo. Like, I just don't care about Sword, and they have this is the second episode, so I don't really there's no character development. There's no character. Her friend Gail, I believe. I forget her friend's name. But she has no quirks to her. She's just the wacky neighbor.
Yep.
Or the funny girlfriend. And it there's nothing to her. There's no sort of quirks. I don't have any. I'm not suspecting her as like some sort of bad guy. I
Mhm.
don't, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
she's just there as a character, and
Yes.
that might evolve as this goes. But like I said, this is a mini series. This
Yeah.
isn't a full season of
Mhm.
shows, so it'd be nice to start letting us know, like, hey, things aren't as they should be. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, we know things aren't as they should be
Sure.
because they're in a sitcom world,
Yeah.
but there's nothing that there's nothing character wise
Mhm.
that really makes me care about the situation.
Yeah.
There was the scene in the first episode where they're having dinner and the
Mhm.
guy's choking on his food
Yep. Yep.
and things aren't going right and they're just kind of sitting there. That's kind of weird, but it doesn't mean anything. And
Yeah.
even if it does mean something down the road, it doesn't mean I want to come back and revisit this whole episode.
Yep. Exactly. Like they're it's has all these little clues and stuff, and you know the looking behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz kind of moments where you kind of see behind the curtain. But
Yeah.
the problem is there's nothing really setting any of that up to like let us care. Like I think John Rich's the Dharma Shark logo, like when that was there, it's this little kind of throwaway thing, but they've already set up like the whole first season was the hatch, and then you find out this hatch has this tape about the Dharma Initiative, and then
Right.
it gives, and that was we found that out episode 3 orientation in season 2, and then you go back and you see the Dharma Shark because Dharma Shark was episode 2 of season 2, wasn't it?
Adrift.
Yeah. And so like that kind of stuff is really cool. And but again, that was 25 episodes or something of setup and character development, giving you all that stuff. And this, like, clearly the anniversary thing means something. Them doing the wedding rings and then her being pregnant. Like, there's clearly things that are significant to Wanda. And it definitely seems like it's all in Wanda's head.
Yeah.
Because the little radio saying, well, you know, where are you, Wanda, or whatever. But there's just they haven't somehow immersed me in caring for all of these little moments and stuff like that. It's like they've dropped us into this world assuming that we're already bought in and care about all of these things. And even though these are two characters from the MCU that we've watched, they're some of the like least developed characters in the MCU. So it's kind of a weird, again, unless the middle episodes really pay all this stuff off in such an insane way that makes you like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I have concerns that they're doing all of this stuff and they're not going to be able to like pay it off.
Right. Right. And the majority of the Easter eggs are just comic book references, comic books that I'm never going to read and probably have nothing to do with the story in the show. There's a moment in the second episode where you hear someone calling for Wanda over the radio. I don't know who it was. It kind of sounded like Hawkeye a little bit. I don't kind of sounded like Captain America. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That is interesting. More stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think.
Or to your point, like first one, just completely live in this sitcom world in a little bit. And I believe John Rich's call this out. So episode 1 had 1 piece of color, episode 2 had 2 pieces of color, but it had to make a bigger leap in episode 2 to kind of like pull away, show us, like bring us into the story. Like, because I don't want this to be sitcom, and then like episode 7, okay, now we're revealing everything, and this is what's going on. Because that's a long time to get to the reveal.
Yeah, it's not very intriguing. And then when they ended the first episode with the camera pulling out to show somebody watching this, that's interesting.
Yep.
Move, springboard off of that.
Yeah.
Don't just dive right back in, because now the audience knows something that the characters don't know, and now we're just sitting there waiting for them to figure that out.
Yeah.
So start moving forward. And I know it's only 2 episodes, but I feel like it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
It didn't grab me.
If this was on network television and it wasn't in a service that I pay for, and it's kind of almost spoon-fed to me in the feed or whatever, I wouldn't keep watching it after these 2 episodes. I don't think.
Right.
And maybe they know they have a captive audience, but still, like that's a big risk to take for your first series.
Right.
in the TV MCU.
Right.
Fett says, I'm guessing Jay and Ralph aren't big David Lynch fans.
Couple things. First of all, I've never seen a David Lynch movie. I watched the first couple episodes of Twin Peaks, couldn't get on board with it. But I feel like if you want to be Lynchian in your show, that's fine. But it just comes down to storytelling. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to have to work to find something interesting in the show. Mm-hmm. It should be interesting from the get-go. If that tree from episode 2 was Groot, like if we saw Groot walking away in the shadows, mm-hmm. I'd be like, oh, cool. So other MCU characters are actually in here with her. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the case. It was a beekeeper, and I could give a crap about the symbol on his back because I have no, sort of relationship with the comics. I didn't grow up a big Marvel reader. In fact, I didn't read like any Marvel, but I really enjoy the MCU because they laid it all out in a simple way. Mm-hmm. And I know I don't have to be stupid in order to enjoy stuff, but I feel like, I don't know if this show is smart. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like I like Lost. And so I can wait for answers.
Sure.
But the problem is, until I get those answers, I want to be entertained. Mm-hmm. And the first one, I was like pretty entertained. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. Yeah. But then the second one was like, this is more of the same. And I just don't care.
Yeah. And that's where it's just like, I really agree with it. Episode 1, I really dug because it was just, it was kind of hokey play on the sitcom thing, which is fine. But then there was just the weird thing with him choking. It was very like, okay, we're off the track that's been set forth, and right. Back on the track, and then the pull away shot of somebody observing it on the TV. Bam, that's great.
I definitely like the first episode more.
Yeah.
One of the things, it's like it's obvious to everybody watching that this is a dream world.
Exactly. Yep.
So what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
The audience, I don't know what the stakes are because they're in a dream world. So I don't know if she's in trouble. I like that that radio bit where they're saying, Wanda, where are you, Wanda, or whatever it's saying. I like that because it says she needs to be somewhere to help. Mm-hmm. But then the rest of the episode became a magic show at a talent fair. And it's like, okay, but something's happening. She doesn't question it. She doesn't tell Vision about it. Mm-hmm. There's no sense of urgency. And I understand, like, okay, she's sort of in her own fantasy world and is probably trying to ignore that stuff and push it out.
Yeah.
I think that was
keeper, and then basically like rewound and start over and like omitted it,
Right. I'm hoping episode 3 has more fractures. I hope we know what's going on in the outside world. I want to feel excitement. If you're going to play it as a comedy, I want it to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be funny.
Yeah.
If that's how you're presenting it, be funny.
Yeah. And that's to the point, like one episode of it being like just a riff on this is fine. But then if that's going to be your every single episode is like, it's 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and every single one is going to kind of reset and be like that, then it's got to be a better riff on sitcom.
Do you remember there's a sitcom that Trey Parker and Matt Stone did called That's My Bush?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that show, how they worked on that show was Trey Parker and Matt Stone found a book on how to write sitcoms. Mm-hmm. And it was filled with cliches. Yeah. And they took that book and made a sitcom about George W. Bush based on that strict rules of the book. Mm-hmm. And it turned out really cheesy and really, it was really corny, but they had some really good jokes in there.
Yeah.
This feels like they took from the same book, but it just feels like a bad sitcom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which again, I think if this is her, making this world because Vision died and she didn't get to have that life with him and yada yada yada, then cool. But I don't know. It's just the kind of, it's just a weird way to do it, or not a very compelling way to do it personally. Mr. Hootie Dean, it has potential. They just need to pick up the pace.
Right.
And
which is crazy because we've had 2 half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
And it still feels like it drags.
Fetz, though, he's disagreeing here. There's been like 40 minutes of the show so far. It's going to be okay.
Right. But they're also presenting it in like 2 half hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't for binge watching. This is set up to watch on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that the audience is ready to go by next week. Yeah. And I'm not.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not.
I agree. Bullwinkle 80, she has her on a spell on herself. It's like she's in therapy for Vision's death and creating a world to be with them. Totally.
Right. We all know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's get with the story, because I don't want to sit here and watch her figure it out, and things need to be sped up. That's my issue.
Yeah. And that would be, and again, it'd be compelling if then, they showed the outside world in episode 1 and episode 2, maybe showing what's going on the outside. Like, Steve Rogers or something is trying to get to her, but she's in a coma or something. I don't know. Just something to make
have her have flashes of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Something has to break through, and it's not.
Yeah. Agreed. Colleen Glatfelter says it took me until episode 2 to get the name, which I'm not proud of, but
WandaVision.
Yeah. Yes, we were both watching, and she was like, "Oh, WandaVision." Yes,
that's fine.
John Riches, no children in this town. That's doing it. Everything for the children.
Yeah, the talent show is for the children.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen any children. And they're going to have children. And I'm hoping, this is my hope for next episode, this will keep me entertained. If it's Brady Bunch, I want to see 3 little girls that look like Wanda and 3 little boys that look like Vision. I need a Peter, Bobby, and Greg Vision, versions of Vision.
Yep. Mr. Houdin, I don't get the Lynch comparisons. It's presenting an American idealized past version of himself, but it's not digging any deeper to expose a truth of the world of the characters.
Right. It reminded me more of Natural Born Killers. The scene in Natural Born Killers where it's like Rodney Dangerfield, I think, is like the dad in the house. It's like a sitcom. So, but I did see a clip where they showed the Brady Bunch house for the 70s, and in the 80s it looks like the Family Ties house. So I think it is interesting that they're sticking to family themed sitcoms as opposed to like a workplace theme, like a Mary Tyler Moore or a Seinfeld. Something that this is definitely family centric, and I'm curious what they do for the 90s. If they make it to the 90s, I'm going to guess Full House, but I don't know has anybody seen what the possible 90s sitcom is? Yeah, I don't know either. So maybe Home Improvement, maybe something that ABC owns.
Maybe they break out of that stuff by that point, but that means we have 2 more episodes of this thing.
No, we have a 70s and an 80s at least.
Yeah, I'm saying. So I'm saying we have at least have a 70s sitcom and 80s sitcom. We have not. I don't think we've seen the 90s sitcom. So is that saying that by episode 5 we're out of the sitcom?
And are we getting 2 episodes tomorrow or just 1?
I think it's just 1 from this point on.
Okay, it better grab me.
Brad Brooks makes a good point. Full House would be funny with an Olsen.
Got it. That's good. Good call.
And she wasn't the actual Olsen twins were not in the Fuller House show. They never were on it, which is kind of a bummer.
Right.
If it's Full House, will Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen finally reprise their roles? Michelle? Yeah, they wouldn't do it for the Fuller House.
It would be funny.
Let's see. Vision as Kramer. I love that idea.
It seems to be family centric.
Yeah.
It seems like the first episode they got the rings, right? Was that the first episode on their anniversary?
Was that?
This
I thought that was the second, or was it the end of the first? They got the rings. I thought that was second. They got no. You're right. First, they got the rings.
The second one, they are pregnant.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Colleen,
maybe the 90s will be Married with Children.
There you go. Colleen asked, didn't Wanda disappear after? No, she didn't. Not after Infinity War. She was in Endgame. Remember, she had that scene, beating up Thanos. Was like, I don't know. I don't even know who you are, or something like that. So she is there. She is there. My buddy Caesar must be watching this. So he says, but he texted me. He's not messaging on the thing. So Caesar, love you, but you're being a weirdo. Just message.
Get in the chat.
Get in the chat. He says it goes up to the 2000s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. The first 6 episodes will be sitcoms, then the last 3 will be full MCU style episodes. If that's so 6 episodes of this, I don't know if I can do it.
Is there a Fresh Prince?
I don't know.
I want to know what the 90s one is. Yeah, I think Fresh Prince would be great. They just did that reunion and rebuilt that set, so
true.
Who knows? And I'm wondering if they are, or if they shot the Brady Bunch one at the Brady Bunch house, because that's been refurbished.
Not. I wonder the Mary not Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke set looked a lot like I wonder if they still had that set somewhere, if they just rebuilt it. I don't know.
It's probably easy to rebuild.
With the director of the series that they had lunch with Dick Van Dyke in Club 33 at Disneyland. I'm like, oh my gosh, Club 33 and hanging out with Dick Van Dyke. That's pretty cool. Let's see. John Rich's 90s sitcom is That 70s Show and Mrs. Hart returns. Let's see. Vet says 2000s is Modern Family. That'd be interesting.
I've never seen an episode.
It's a fun sitcom, but it's not earth shattering. Wonder Years again. It's a period piece. Then it seems like it's going back in time. It needs to be something that's definitely dated.
The way they're setting it up is like the classic 3-camera sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Your I Love Lucy's and Married with Children's and Big Bang Theory, maybe. That's Warner Brothers though. They had DC stuff all over that show.
Yeah, they did. I know that's silly, but didn't she get snapped away? Yes. So is this what happened when she got snapped?
Oh, could this be happening during her snap? She wasn't snapped, was she? Or was she?
I don't remember. Jigger
she was snapped.
And then Colleen, I didn't mean to offend your honor, Colleen. I was just saying she was definitely there fighting Thanos. But you're right. This was happened while she was snapped. I was wondering if Wanda can bring Vision back. Why wouldn't she bring her brother first? That's a good point, Mr. Hootie Dean, because her brother dies in Age of Ultron, which she hasn't really talked about him since. Maybe they didn't really
she needs to bring the Quicksilver from the X-Men over. That's what I want. You do that, I'm on board.
It's true.
Open up that multiverse. Let's get some X-Men poured in here.
Because you're right. That Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men is a lot more fun.
Yeah, both of those guys are from the movie Kick-Ass.
Oh, really?
Both of the Quicksilvers are in Kick-Ass. They're good friends.
Funny.
And then Clark Duke is the only one that's not a Quicksilver. So get Clark Duke as Quicksilver.
Colleen says, you're really trying to make this Dick Van Dyke thing happen. What do you mean, lad? It was set. It was definitely the set. I have made Colleen angry, everybody. I am going to be sleeping on the couch tonight, just so you know. Not really. Miss Jacob says, Mr. Houdini, there's a rumor that Evan Peters is supposed to reprise his role as Quicksilver.
There you go. He's the Quicksilver from X-Men.
So that'd be great.
Yeah. Bring them into the fold.
I agree. Well, they've already confirmed Deadpool there's going to be a Deadpool 3, and he will be interspersed within the MCU. So,
yeah.
And she also changed her accent from Age of Ultron, so she's pretty powerful. I think her accent changed between episodes 1 and 2, I believe.
Right.
Evan Peters is from Glee, right? And all AHS. I don't know what that is.
I know him from Kick-Ass, and he's Quicksilver in the X-Men.
More like Silver. I don't know. I try to play off that. All right. Well, that's kind of, I guess, Ralph, you and I maybe are alone. It seems like most people in chat are kind of, well, maybe it's 50-50 in the chat. I think there's some people here that really dig it. Fetz is in love with the show. He must be like a small writer on the show or something, because he feels like he's protecting a little too much. That's just kind of clean. You are a key grip on the show or something. But I did want to look at, let's see here. So it is getting a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
And I don't get it.
Wow.
That's too high.
That's too high. For me, it's too high.
And even the audience score, I think, is too high. 80%.
Yeah, I think I'd be closer to like 60.
Yeah. And that's just it. Like, go ahead.
I mean, the thing is, it's well done.
Mm-hmm.
I like the look of the show.
Yeah.
I think the design is well done. It looks like a classic sitcom. Yeah, from a technical standpoint, I think it's all great. Story standpoint, there's nothing there yet. And I don't think there's enough in there for me to do the rewatch. You know what I mean? Like there aren't, I don't think there's clues to the story that we totally are missing out on, So I don't know, man. I mean, we have a new episode tomorrow. I'm going to watch it for sure, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Fett says The Last Jedi of the MCU tearing families apart. I love Last Jedi. So I will defend Last Jedi to the death. But Return of Skywalker.
WandaVision's more like the slow speed chase storyline of The Last Jedi. Last Jedi has a lot of good stuff. It has some of my favorite Star Wars stuff in it, but it also has some of my least. WandaVision, I'm still looking for that favorite part of WandaVision.
Agreed.
I haven't found it.
There's definitely things you can kind of pick apart at Last Jedi. But what I love about it is it really tried. It tried to do something different. It tried to be weird. It tried to which I have to, it's kind of, I also like Wonder Woman. You have to at least give it credit that it was weird. Like it was doing stuff that was different and not.
Yeah, there was some stuff. That's another like 60-70% maybe for me. Yeah,
I liked Wonder Woman better than this so far, personally. It was a more enjoyable movie, but it seems like you had Ghostbusters, 2016 Ghostbusters, divisive, everybody hates it, whatever. And then Last Jedi comes along, it's like divisive, everybody hates it, whatever. And then Wonder Woman, I think, is like that new thing for the nerd community. And then it's like already I feel like WandaVision might be that new thing that's like getting everybody bent out of shape. But I don't see much of anything here to be like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. Caesar says, by the way, I loved it. Every minute of it was incredible. But Caesar's a MCU fanboy, so he's a little too he's too close. It's too close to his heart. It's too close to his heart. Let's see. Ghostbusters Afterlife got delayed from June 11th to November 11th. What? No. What do you mean Ghostbusters got delayed as well?
Did that just happen right now?
Is that
breaking news?
Hold on.
Why does all this news happen on Thursdays?
Because they know we do this show.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They're supposed to do it. They're supposed to post it before 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
So along with Bond, they delayed Busters.
Oh, it's Sony. Oh my God! Get a streaming app. Come on, Sony.
They don't have one, so they're just holding off. November 11th. Come on.
That sucks. And the cereal and the Twinkies just came out, right?
I know the cereal and what those are still like leaked. Like all this stuff is dependent on this damn movie coming out.
Well, at least we know the Twinkies will hold.
Uh, anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm not upset. It's fine.
Maybe you'll get a chance to see it in the theater.
That's true. That's true. But still, it's fine.
But still,
it's fine. Mr. Houdini says, I think the high score is because most critics got the first 3 episodes. So yeah, maybe the 3rd episode is
right. That's what I'm thinking.
But then why not just include that as the first drop?
Right.
Why do the first 2 where it's slow and kind of boring at best? And then maybe if you're a super fan, you love all the Easter eggs and stuff. And the thing is, like, I love the MC movies. I've seen them several times. Like the whole family loves them. So it's not like I feel like I'm coming into this with no understanding of this universe or these characters. Like I've seen all the movies in the theater. I've loved just about every one of them.
Yeah, if these were comic books, are you picking up issue 3?
No, hell no.
I wouldn't pick up issue 3, but we'll see.
A lot of lamenting here. I know it did. We went from it coming out of Jay's birthday weekend to Zach's birthday weekend, and now Veterans Day. Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. I'm gonna be fine. It's okay. Brad Brooks is with me. Loves Last Jedi. Colleen says, Ralph, we talked about Wonder Woman 84 on the broadcast. I'll text you. You'll appreciate it. Tree Shaker asked, what's up, fellas? Trying to catch this podcast between patients. Well, the patients come first, Tree Shaker, but appreciate you checking in. Good to hear from you. Fett says, freeze those Twinkies. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna anywho. All right. Yes. Why?
Listen, nothing's worse than Celebration being delayed 2 years. So with the James Bond thing, I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get that Hans Zimmer taste out of my mouth sooner than later.
Just get over it.
But for Ghostbusters, I mean, there's nothing I've heard about Ghostbusters where I'm like questioning,
I know, and just
how it's going to be. I'm really excited to see it.
Just like Reitman watched the movie, like they finished it in December, I think, of this year. And just early kind of things, just really excited about it, and I'm really excited about it, and whatever, it's fine. Like this anyway. Like I get the people like lamenting and kind of dumping on Warner Brothers or AT&T dropping these movies on HBO Max, but at least like we're getting these movies, like
right.
It's this weird. It's either that or rent out a theater and watch a movie. Like it's just one of those 2 options right now, and
right.
Not everybody has an extra $150 to drop on renting out a movie theater. But I would do that for Ghostbusters. I would rent out a theater for Ghostbusters in a heartbeat. But I think that's just to get something in the theaters. I don't think they actually make money doing that. So
right.
Anyway.
Oh well.
Maybe for my birthday, I'll rent out a theater and just watch Ghostbusters, the first one. I'll do a marathon. I'll do Ghostbusters 1 and 2. And I'll invite
not 3.
Actually, you know what? I like 2016 Ghostbusters, so I'd watch it again.
I do 1,
then
2016, then 2.
Why that order?
Because I like 2 better than 3, and it'll give you some time in between since they don't really intersect. One of my favorite things ever is the very first frame of Ghostbusters 2 when it just says 5 years later.
Yeah,
and you'll still get that passage of time in between Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
I like that.
I'd much rather end on Ghostbusters 2 than Answer the Call or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think it
is. I mean, yeah, it's just personal preference. It doesn't need to be chronological.
No, I think that's fair. There is something to, since Answer the Call is just it's in its own universe. It's not you could, like we've talked about, like there's a way you could make like a multiverse and
I think it's in its own dimension.
Yeah, for sure. But I do kind of like that just because I feel like people are coming around to Ghostbusters 2. At least I find like a lot of people dumped on it a lot because I think Bill Murray used to dump on it, but he's kind of come around to it, and I think people are finally realizing it's all the original cast, all the original creators. It has a lot of funny lines in it, and yes, does it follow a lot of the same beats as the first one? Sure, but
I only have one issue with that movie.
okay, what is it?
Randy Edelman's score.
Oh, you're right. The score is a drag.
It's bad news.
Yeah, it is.
Recently I did a Google search for Hans Zimmer sucks, which I tend to do a lot. And I found a bunch of lists that said stuff like movies where the score made the movie worse. And like every list had Ghostbusters 2. So
again, I think we talked about it before. I would love to see somebody re-edit Ghostbusters 2, but use the Elmer Bernstein score.
Right.
I guarantee
it would change everything.
Absolutely. Because they used that score in the Ghostbusters video game, and it's awesome.
Right.
So rescore it.
Yeah.
Somebody out there. I don't have the time or the whatever. Do this program.
Right. Yeah, you still got to do that Hasbro Boba Fett review.
I sold
it. Oh, where's the button? Where's your soundboard?
I flipped it. Hold on. Sorry, but I'll give you.
And I watched Clone Wars for you.
Oh, that was
how it is.
I'm sorry. I forgot. Well, it became pretty valuable, so I flipped it.
All right.
I didn't have any room for it. I didn't have anywhere to put it. I wanted to keep the regular Boba Fett. I'd have to switch out the regular Boba Fett if I was gonna bring in the Hasbro Boba Fett.
That's fine.
Ralph has hated Hans Zimmer since at least 2007 when I first met him. You should really start a video series or an audio book series of Hans Zimmer sucks, and like that, and it's your thesis. And then over a course of like 8 episodes, you break down all the reasons why Hans Zimmer's the worst.
I recently had well, here's the thing. This is me always shouting into the wind. Nobody, like on the internet, there's a lot of people on the internet that love him. And it drives me nuts.
But, make your thesis and put it out there.
But I was recently having a conversation with a couple friends who agreed with me. And so I feel like finally, I know you do and other people do, but I feel like there's a group of us out there. And so as long as I know, that we're out there, I'm fine for now.
Fett says Ralph's favorite thing in Ghostbusters 2 is a title card, but WandaVision is boring. Got it. Woo.
He does that every week.
You have upset him. You have offended him.
The title card only takes like 5 seconds, and it's also black and white, and it tells me so much more in that 5 seconds than WandaVision told me in 2 episodes. Sorry.
That's you're right. Like the title card and everything just like is like, okay, all right, I get it.
5 years later. Boom. That's probably the best part of that score too.
You're right. It is. It's just like the sound of it and everything's like, oh, what's happened?
Ooh, intrigue. I'm intrigued. Where are the Ghostbusters now?
Yeah.
5 years. Like time has passed. Real time.
Oh my god. Tree Shaker just watched GB2 last night. It's got great moments. I'm with you, Ralph. The score is just not there.
Right.
Agreed. Pets release the Ghostbusters 2 Zimmer cut.
See what happens.
Colleen says there are dozens of us for the rest of the out there.
Holding up my corn dog.
All right. So final thoughts here, WandaVision. Let's close it out. Ralph, what's your thoughts?
I'm excited about episode 3. I'm really hoping that we're moving forward with the weirdness and the outside interference. Wanda and Vision both saw the beekeeper come out.
Yep.
So hopefully that sparks something in them where they know something's up.
Yep.
But didn't they like go back in time and they rewound it and
They did.
changed it? So once again, where we know more than the characters do, and so we're just waiting for them to catch up with us, which isn't very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. If 3 is this big reveal episode, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm totally in it. I'm gonna be like, why did you wait? Just do 1, 2, 3, day 1,
Right.
do the rest.
Right.
And there is another side of things where, for me, it's weird that this is the first thing, and maybe just the way the productions went. But I'd be maybe a lot more tolerant of this, what we're getting so far, if maybe we already had Winter Soldier and the Falcon and some other things to already kind of set the table for the TV view, so that this way it's kind of like, okay, this is kind of a weird skew just path we're going to take for a little while, because I've already like satiated my need to get back into the MCU, because we haven't had anything since the last Spider-Man movie in 2019. We haven't had anything. So to me, it's like you're coming back to it, and it's like coming back to Lost, or after years, and you come back to Across the Sea, where it's just like, huh? What's going on? Who are these people? How does it relate to the overall story? Oh, okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. And then,
I just watched Across the Sea for the second time.
you know, you did. You did.
And you know what that episode is? It's the equivalent of Revenge of the Sith when Bail Organa's just like, oh yeah, have C-3PO's memory wiped. It's like, oh yeah, here's some loose ends, and then we're just gonna toss you. Here's this new thing that you'll need to know for the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just toss that in there too.
Yeah.
My thing with WandaVision is it is essentially like the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Matrix, you're like, I wonder what's happening, and I wonder who these characters are, and I can't wait to see this come together. And you have a lot of intrigue. Yeah. With WandaVision, I know who these characters are. Mm-hmm. I know that they're in her mind creating this construct. Mm-hmm. So it's not interesting. There's no intrigue. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes, or I guess 1 episode, tomorrow's.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Will Screen Geek stop talking about WandaVision after episode 3?
We'll see. That'll be the true test.
And if we don't talk about it, and if it's not a good episode, 100% blaming Fetz.
Mm-hmm.
It's his fault. Because
he's all this is the greatest TV show of our generation.
Right. No, that'd be Ted Lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso's so good. I agree. Ted Lasso is our this current generation. Do you think Hot Toys will release a Bernie Mittens figure? Somebody's got to make a Bernie Mittens figure.
That's Toy Geeks.
That's true.
Talk to Jay on Sunday.
They don't do that, Fets. I'm sure Pops, Funko Pops will. Why is Alice and Janney randomly here not making this better? Referencing
Across the Sea.
Maybe Falcon or Bucky was the voice on the radio, and it was a set for their show, which is fine, I guess. But again, I'd rather maybe start with that, because then it's just more we're back into the storyline, versus this is like a fever dream kind of thing.
Right.
Which, again, fever dream, something, kind of like out of the space-time continuum because of blah, 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 is fine. But 6 episodes of it, maybe, before back to like the real world? That's a long time to be in fever dream. And Chagers, I'm going to bring it up every episode. Ted Lasso does rule. Oh, it's so good. Maybe I'll just rewatch Ted Lasso. Maybe that's what I'll do.
We just rewatched it last week.
It 3 times already.
Yeah.
I watched it while it was airing, and then Colleen started watching it with me. So then I rewatched it with her, and then we watched it again in November, I don't know, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So good. Anywho,
Oh, they started production this week.
it
For
did.
season 2. Yeah,
Nice.
season 2 began production, so soon.
I film it in the UK. It's like it's a legit
Yeah.
area in the UK. Anywho, all right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Screen Geeks. To answer the question, deceptively good, weirdly boring. I think we're both on the weirdly boring side of things. We'll see if things will improve this next week. This is kind of it. This is their chance.
Put up Jay's. Jay Griffith says, "What's Ted Lasso?" It's a show on Disney Plus or on Apple Plus.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a free trial, you'll binge it. It's 10 episodes, I think. You can watch it in a day. I think we watched it within 24 hours the first time. The second time we watched in like 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love it. Jason Sudeikis is a high school or a college football coach who moves to England to coach a professional soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very good. I can't recommend it enough. It's not cynical. It's a very positive show.
Yep.
And it'll make you happy. Great characters. It'll pull you in right from the beginning.
Yep.
It's in color. It's in 16:9. There's no. I like the look of the show. I like the look of WandaVision. But seriously though, Ted Lasso better win like every award at whatever awards they do. Agreed. I loved it.
I haven't met one person that's watched it that doesn't absolutely love it. Like
it makes you feel good.
Right? Yeah, because it's such you're right. There's no cynicism. Like it actually is a really adult show that like tackles things like as just like mature adults should tackle things, and like I don't know, it's a breath of fresh air in terms of like just show TV writing in general, because there's so many like just tropes that you would think they would take. It's like, oh no, they just did the well-adjusted adult response to something,
yeah. Also, you're like, there's a lot of conflicts where you're about to see these conflicts go head on with Ted Lasso, and he just over his back says, hey, it is what it is, it's positive, and they just move on from it. Like they both learn their lesson. We don't need a big fight.
Exactly.
And it's so perfect. It's so perfect.
And that's such a breath of fresh air in terms of like TV or just any type of like media. So anywho, very, very good. You had me at Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, watch it. Watch it. Yeah.
It never makes the obvious choice, and despite it being a dramedy, it's just wonderful. All right, that is it. We'll see you all next week. We'll see. It'll either be a Tenet episode or it'll be episode 3 of WandaVision. We'll see. Or maybe something kind of come that we want to talk about. Until then, hasta luego and goodbye.
See ya.